Hello everybody, welcome back. I am the Chornik, and today, ladies and gentlemen, holy moly, we are going to review Pokemon X and Y episode number 92. Yes, the second to last Pokemon X and Y episode. Next season that's coming up is the X, Y, and Z series. I know, not so different, just a little extra Z at the end. But ladies and gentlemen, yes, we are rearing up. Is that how you say it? Rearing up to the end of this series, and we're gonna have the last episode have to deal with Olympia, the gym leader. It's gonna go off with a bang, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to face off against Olympia, Ash versus Olympia, in the final episode of X and Y. Fantastic. But this episode, ladies and gentlemen, we get introduced into Olympia, and we actually receive a lot of content and a lot of things thrown at us in this episode. Now we have Olympia, as you can see here, and she's all using her psychic powers, and she's shown to, be really powerful and foresee a lot of events in Kalos, and that she's able to protect Kalos by being able to do this. Now she was able to foresee the primals facing off against each other in the Mega Evolution Acts, and she is also able to foresee the events that's going to occur in X, Y, and Z. And so I guess it's a nice little lead into the next series, and I'm glad that they had Olympia kind of fulfill this role of seeing, foreseeing all these events. Now she sees that Ash is gonna have something to do with it, and that he's gonna be like, apparently he's like, the prophecy is about that he's gonna save the Kalos region or some prophecy that Ash has to go and fulfill with his good old Pokemon. And speaking of his good old Pokemon, a huge character that was basically very important in this episode and was highly showcased was Frogadier and his whole backstory as a Froakie before he was even with Ash. And so they actually had this whole backstory shown, and Olympia was showing Ash this, and how all the trainers before Ash, I think there was about like 9 of them, I believe, they, how Frogadier left them, or should I say it was Froakie at the time, left them because, he didn't want to be with them because they did not provide one thing that Ash apparently provided for Frogadier. And apparently Olympia said that was love, and that Ash provided love for Froakie or Frogadier, and Ash provides, all this stuff for his Pokemon that other trainers do not. And that really shows how important, powerful, and strong that, experienced that Ash really is, and how he's so much different from other trainers in the positive, good way, is that he actually gives a lot more love and bonding to his Pokemon than most other trainers could. So I thought that really stood out, and I thought that was amazing. But anyway, we also saw Olympia was, foresighting the other events that Frogadier is going to have, and Olympia was telling Ash that Frogadier is going to become extremely powerful, more powerful than anyone could ever believe and stuff. And Ash originally thought, oh, he's going to evolve into Greninja, and Olympia was like, no, it's not just that, it's even more so. And then all of a sudden Sycamore was like, wait, are you referring to Mega Evolution? And so all of a sudden Ash looks at Frogadier and is like, everyone's like, oh my gosh, he's going to Mega Evolve. And so the thing is, I think that's not what's going to happen, obviously, as we kind of see that it's just going to be a different form of Greninja. It's not going to be a Mega Evolution. It's just described as a form a Pokemon takes when the bonding between the trainer and Pokemon reaches its limits, and it hasn't happened in several hundred years. So I'm guessing we're gonna push away the side that it's not a Mega Evolution. It's still just the Ash Greninja, and that's just a different form. So still same thing. Now the thing is, when Frogadier was little, it fought against. It was different from the other Froakies. It was very determined and wanted to be the best Pokemon, and the best, most powerful Pokemon it could be, and in the world pretty much. And it was always training and determined to become stronger and train on its own. And it wasn't like the other Froakies, and that's why it was very unhappy with a lot of the trainers that it worked for, that it fought for. But Ash was a lot different, and Ash provided what Froakie thought he needed, and that was the love and support. And Ash was strong enough in Froakies' eyes that, that's the trainer he wants to be with. But I thought the whole purpose of this episode mostly was about Frogadier and foresighting his ultimate form, which is Ash Greninja, and I thought that was awesome. That huge thing was brought to us, and a lot of the X and Y, Z kind of were foresighting into that series, and that was a lot of what happened in this episode. We also had all those flashbacks, and not only did we have flashbacks about Frogadier, but yeah, we had the flashbacks back down to episode 40. Now, from episode 40, down in the little Amore Shipping Canyon, Serena and Ash were talking, and Ash told Serena that you have to find your dream with your Pokemon. And in this episode, Serena brought that same quote back up, and when she was watching Ash and Frogadier having their whole discussion about becoming stronger together and winning the Pokemon League together. And that was a really impactful moment, by the way. That kind of showed signs that they will win, and like hinting at it, and I'm hoping that is true. But that whole moment, like referring back to episode 40 where Serena said that, like, that just made oh my gosh, that made the whole moment just bigger and more impactful. And like the fact that they brought it back from an episode beforehand, and they all did all this stuff in just this one episode, and they're trying to pack stuff in, but they're doing it in this episode, did it well. Like they packed so much in, but yet it didn't seem like this episode was rushed at all. We got to see Olympia's showcase, and Olympia showed that how different and powerful she was, and we saw Frogadier's whole story and all that, and how the Sundial had something to do with Mega Evolution. And so there's all this stuff happened. I thought this episode was awesome, and I loved it so much. So Frogadier is going to have a huge impact from here on out. We still have to work on the other Pokemon as well, but right now Frogadier is like kind of in the spotlight at the moment, guys. And the writer even said that this episode was going to be the one to change the mood of the series, and I think it did. I think the writer was right. The writer was right. And I think it really, this episode was that fantastic, and it really kind of changed the mood, and really, it's bringing us into the next series, especially right after the bang that will be Olympia's gym battle. And ladies and gentlemen, Talonflame and Frogadier are gonna duke it out with those two Meow Sticks, and they're gonna punch, pooch. Blah, blah. But anyway, thanks guys for watching. I can't wait for next week's episode. That's gonna be awesome. Please post in the comment section below your thoughts and predictions. Love you guys, and peace out. Thank you very much.